Oh my gosh, it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these. Let's see how this goes. Hi all, my name's Bella and I'm the creator behind Craft by Bella store, and I'm coming to you today from the lands of the Paramonk and Ghana people of the Adelaide Hills region. And I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I'm coming to you today with the 6th episode of the Craft by Bella podcast. Wow, it's been a hot minute since I have recorded at all, and it definitely feels a little bit weird talking to a camera in my room. But I wanted to come to you today, show you some of the things I've been making, a little bit of a business update, and also a little bit of a recap on the Bendigo Sheep and Wool show, because we've just been there like this last weekend, which is super cool. I'd like to say thank you to any of my returning viewers. It's obviously been about 2 years. I've finished out high school now. Kind of crazy. So thank you if you're coming back, and to any new viewers, hi. It's nice to meet you. Introduce yourself in the comment section down below. All my show notes will be in the description box, wherever that is these days. And that will be like project notes. I'll link to as many shops as I can that I mention, and also all my links to my social media can be found below. But you can find me on Instagram at craft_by_Bella, and you can find me on Etsy at Craft by Bella store. Cool, I'm hoping this is kind of okay. I feel like I'm really rambling at a camera right now. But I'm just going to try and jump right in with some finished objects. Obviously I've had quite a few since I last recorded, so I've just kind of picked out my July finished objects. Oh, completely forgot to mention the date. It is Tuesday, I think the 18th of July. Damn, I'm gonna have to check that. Turns out I was correct on the date, which is good. So I'll show you some of my finished objects now. So my first finished object is a pair of DK socks that I have made for my grandmother, my Oma. She's always wearing her house socks around the house, and she's actually the person who got me into crocheting. So I decided it was finally time to make her a pair of socks. These are made using some Lincraft sock yarn leftover balls that I had. I think it's maybe about 40 grams per section between the two socks. I followed the Crazy Sock Ladies pattern DK vanilla socks. I followed the large size, which I think is 56 stitches, but I may be very wrong there. Used a 3.25mm needle, and I'm hoping these fit her because I've just adjusted from the counts that I'd use for my own socks. So hopefully these are good and she likes them. But this is my first finished object. If you have any questions about any of my projects, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer questions, but also I'll try and link to my Ravelry project pages down below. Again, project notes and everything down below. My next finished object is this vest. The pattern that I followed for this is Scrap Vest by Laramil Loops. Wow, I'm doing a really great job of showing this, aren't I? The main colour yarn is Maximoo yarns in the colourway Rings of Saturn. It is their DK merino base. And then the contrast colour is Soxia DK, and I think the colourway Chiron. Can't quite remember, but that's this vest. I'll just try and show you a bit closer. Sorry, my lighting's a little bit weird. Again, just getting myself back into all of the podcasting stuff. But it's a gorgeous speckled yarn, and I really enjoyed this pattern. This is the second time I've made this pattern now. It's a made to measure pattern, which means you can really customize it to the fit you want, which is great. And then my third finished object is another pair of socks. I've got sock blockers. Let me just grab those. You can tell I'm really prepared for this. Got my sock blockers. So the pattern I followed for these socks is by the Crazy Sock Lady. It is the vanilla socks on magic loop. I used a 2.5mm needle, and this is the socks. I've got a second one. I just don't feel like putting them both on the blockers. The yarn that I used for this is Woolen Works on the fingering sock base, I believe. It is the colourway Pink Petal Pie. It's gorgeous. I'm not a pinks person. I love this colourway. I think it's probably the yellows and pinks for me. I love yellows and dusty pinks together. But I'm not a pink person. As you can tell, these are very pink. Super happy with these. The second sock I actually knit as my sock for Sock Week 2023, which is a knit along hosted by Nitty Natty. And I managed to cast on Sunday night and finished kitchenered the end of my sock on Friday morning. So super happy with how quickly I managed to actually knock that all through. A lot of that knitting, I've got to say, was done in front of the TV watching MasterChef semi-finals. MasterChef semi-finals. The grand finale was Sunday night. Yes, I've very much enjoyed this season of MasterChef, but sorry, side ramble. These are my socks. And that is my last finished object for now. I will just rearrange slightly and grab some of my whips for you. Okie dokie. Onto whips now. I actually have worked through a lot of my whips in the last 2.5 months, which I'm really proud of. I'm used to having like, you know, a whole long pile of project bags. Like, I think I had between 8 and 10 for most of this year, and I am down to 3 active whips at the moment, which is super good for me. I've got one UFO that I'm not going to show you because I haven't had any progress on that recently, but when that comes back out again, I will definitely show you guys. Okay, I'll get into this. I'm just looking at the little pile I've got down here next to me. Okay, start with this one. It's in one of my project bags. I sell these at markets, if you've ever seen me in a market. Super simple, just a little drawstring pouch, perfect size for socks, which is exactly what this first whip is. So this first whip is a DK sock. It is again the Crazy Sock Lady's DK Vanilla Socks pattern. I am following the medium size for myself, which is 48 stitch sock. I am using a 3.25mm needle, and I'm just past the gusset on the first sock. Now I'm going to try and show this up close. So this yarn is from Finch yarns. Let me just grab out the ball for you guys. So this main colour, oh, that went out of focus for a second. Sorry, just trying to not blow out the yarn here. So this main colour is Let It Happen. It's on their SS Sock DK base, which is an 85% extra fine merino and 15% nylon. I love this yarn. I will buy it any time I see them. Totally recommend it if you ever want to knit some super lovely soft socks for yourself. And then the contrasting mini. It's a little bit of a wonky cake. Is also Finch yarns. It's just one of their minis on their same base. Doesn't have a colorway name, but it's got some really gorgeous speckles through there, which I'm sure the camera isn't picking up because it never does what I want it to do. But yeah, that's my first whip. Just past the gusset. I'm sure this will fly by as soon as I get to it because DK socks are a super quick and satisfying project. Totally recommend them for anyone who hasn't tried them yet. Okay. Yeah, I love my DK socks. They are great house socks, and it is winter at the moment, which means it hasn't gotten over 15 degrees in about the last month, and warm socks are great for this sort of weather. Sorry, side tangent again. I'm just getting used to talking to the camera again, which is kind of weird for me, but it's cool. We're doing this. Yeah. Either way, next whip is also in a project bag that I have made. It is also a sock. This one is a fingering weight sock. It is again the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla socks on magic loop. I'm using a 2.25mm needle for this project, and this is as far through as I've gotten so far, and the camera's definitely blowing that out. See if I can get that a bit better. That's a more accurate colour representation, so go figure. Either way, the yarn I'm using for this is Fluff and Nonsense yarn. It's the June Monet Sock Club. June? Yeah, June. Just the label. And it is inspired by the painting Giogio. Oh my, sorry, I'm not great with Italian or, you know, just words in general. I'm not great at it. Giogio Maggiore at Dusk. Got a picture somewhere around here. Let me just grab it that shows what the colorway is inspired by. This is what this colourway is inspired by, which is obviously a Monet painting. I believe there are a whole series of these sort of sunset paintings from Venice. Tess includes an information card about the paintings in each of these sock sets, which is really great to learn about, you know, some art history. But that's the inspo picture. And this is the yarn. Let me just fish it out. It's the mini, and there's the main colour, which are again blowing out. It's absolutely gorgeous. I got this in the mail, and within 12 hours of me receiving it, I had it balled up and ready to cast on. Yes, it's lovely to work with. It is a 75% Superwash BFL and 25% nylon base, which is lovely. Apparently my gauge for sock knitting is slightly different on a BFL base compared to a merino base, which I have discovered the hard way. I've had some gauge changes apparently in the last year or so. There was a whole saga with some of my socks not fitting after I'd spent hours knitting them, which is never fun. Either way, that was that one. It's just been cast on in the last 12 hours, but I am loving it so far. And my last active whip at the moment is a blanket. It is Scrappy granny stripe blanket that almost everyone has, and I'm sure I will not be able to get this all on camera for you guys because it's massive. Yeah, it's massive. Let me try and fold it in half and show you. This is not going very well. Either way, this is a long-term project. It's been kind of my couch knitting on and off. Knitting? Crochet. It's crochet. This is a crochet blanket. It's been my couch crochet on and off for over a year now. I think I cast this on in January of 2022. That sounds about right. Either way, I'm following vaguely the Attic 24 pattern, whatever the pattern that everyone uses for their granny stripe. That is what I followed for my cast on amount, my cast on chain. Wow, I'm super out of practice. I'm very sorry, guys. And I'm just using scrap yarn, you know, my odds and ends from projects, and trying to use up some acrylic, and a 5mm hook, and that is this massive project. I'm really sorry, this is so rambly today. I'm gonna grab some of my spinning stuff and I'll be right back. Okay, so spinning. I have been taking part I fell off the bandwagon about a week ago, but I've been taking part in the Tour de Fleece this year for the first time, which is a spin along where you spin along with the Tour de France, like you spin on the same days that they're cycling, which I was really great at for about the first week, and then I got distracted by my sock knitting for sock week, which is completely my bad, but I actually have some finished spinning to show you guys, which is kind of a first for like the last year. My spinning's definitely been put to the side while I've finished year 12 and everything, and just kind of rebalanced life a little bit. Either way, I'll show you some of these finished spins. So my first one is this. This is a spin from Kathy's Fibre. It is a designer bat from her. It is a 2-ply construction, which is kind of my standard. I'm not great at chain plying and don't have a lazy cake to be able to do a 3-ply construction, which is totally cool because I love how these turn out. Really love the colours in this. The fibre content was Merino and English Leicester. It was a 50-gram bat, and my finished spin is kind of 44 grams. I always seem to split my fibre incorrectly and end up chain plying the last little bit, and then that goes into my scrap blanket, which I think is a nice way to use up fibre. No, sorry, singles that otherwise I don't know what I'd do with. But that's my first spin. My second spin is this gorgeous yarn. This was from a bat from Dovedale Creations. It is gorgeous, fluffy, soft. Again, 2-ply construction. The finished spin turned out to be, I can read, 112 grams, and the fibres include Australian, oh, I cannot read my own handwriting, Australian alpaca, Australian merino, mulberry silk, and red Erie silk. And this this spin turned out a lot finer than the first one that I showed you, which I really like. You know, more meterage, always good. And then the third finished spin and final finished spin I have to show you is this one. This is from a bat that I got from Coven Collective. Yep, Coven Collective. Shared a table with her at, oh my gosh. I shared a table with her at She's Crafty Market in April, and I'd kind of been eyeing this bat the entire market and went, if no one else buys that, I'm buying that at the end of the day, which is exactly what happened. This is, again, 2-ply construction. The finished spin turned out to be 89 grams, and it is a mix of merino, silk, recycled sari silk, and cashmere, and again, it is gorgeous. Absolutely love this. Absolutely recommend you guys checking her out. That's this one. And then I've got 2 spins in progress because apparently I couldn't commit to just finishing one. So I've got one where I've finished my first bobbin, and this fibre was a wool roving from Ollie's Girls? I believe so. I purchased this at Fibre Feast 2021, so a little bit of deep stash for me. And then my second bobbin, this is where I got distracted and jumped onto everything else. But yeah, I'm trying to be really consistent with this spin. I'm really proud of how thin it is turning out, and I will definitely get back to this. I just really wanted to be able to focus on it while I was spinning it to make sure it was really consistent and fine, which is something I'm historically not great at doing while spinning. And then my last spinning project is this one. This is the spin that I took away to Bendigo this last weekend. It is a Malabrigo noob. They're roving, Malabrigo roving, and I can't remember the colour name, but it's, you know, greens, purples and blues. And this is the first bobbin of that. I haven't gotten through all of it. There's still some to do because, again, I got distracted by my sock knitting. But yeah, it's been great to get back into spinning with the Tour de Fleece. It's been really motivating for me, which is good because sometimes I need a bit of motivation to get myself moving on my projects. And I think that's all I have to say about my spinning, so I will do a little bit of shop news. Okay, so shop news. I haven't been attending regular markets as much. That kind of dropped off alongside year 12, you know, I just needed a bit more brain space to be able to focus on my schoolwork and my studies, and I haven't quite fully gotten back into it this year. I have attended 2 events this year as a stall holder, Fibre Feast and the She's Crafty Thornbury Market. Both of those events were amazing. If you stop by to say hi, talk projects, bought my yarn, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love those events for the community aspect of things. I love seeing what everyone's making, what everyone's thinking about making. I just really love those events and wanted to say thank you. I have also recently updated my Etsy store, so I have all of my in-stock yarn online now, and I will continue to keep that updated as I dye more yarn into the future. So if you're looking for anything, links in the description box down below. No pressure at all, but I'd really appreciate it if you did take a look. Yeah, and then in terms of other dye plans that I have into the future, I've chosen to do 12-day advent calendars this year, which is a first for me. I haven't dyed advent calendars before, and I'm excited and nervous at the same time to start that project. You know, it's a big undertaking to dye that many minis. I'm just looking at them. They're sitting just behind the camera right now. But I'm super excited. I've chosen the theme of Cottage Garden, which definitely is my colour palette, and I'm really excited to play with colours and develop new colours for that I probably wouldn't otherwise be doing, just in terms of I usually stick to, you know, my regular colours, and I'm excited to develop some new colours, which is going to be fun. But yeah, that's coming up. They will be listed online at the start of October, I think is what I said. And they'll also be at markets with me for any that I do around that time. So if I'll update on my Instagram if you're interested at all. And the other big exciting thing is that I've recently gotten a new base to dye on, which is this. It's the first skein I've done up in it, but this is a DK sock yarn, which I'm super excited about because it is honestly one of my favourite yarns to use, a DK sock yarn. This is a gorgeously soft and plump yarn. I will be knitting up some socks in it before I release it as a product, just because I want to test how it, you know, knits and washes. Sorry if you're hearing any ticking noises. I've just got a heater going right next to the camera and just realised you may be able to hear that when it changes its heat setting, so I'm very sorry about that. It is cold and we need the heater going, so sorry. But this base is a 75% New Zealand superwash merino and 25% nylon. I will have the yardage across the bottom of the screen because I cannot remember it right now, but it comes in 100 gram hanks. 100 gram hanks. And I'm super excited to dye some more yarn on this, so if you have any colourway suggestions that you would like to see personally on this base, leave them in the comments section below because I'm really struggling to decide how I want to dye this yarn up. But this colourway right here is Kingfisher, which is probably one of my most popular colourways at the moment. Yeah, so I think that's just about it for shop news, I believe. And I'll go into a bit of a recap of Bendigo now then. Okay, so Bendigo / Spendigo / the Australian Sheep and Wool Show. Pretty much the big fibre event in Australia, if you ask most people. It was on my bucket list of things to visit over the last 2 years. Kind of didn't get around to it last year, obviously, with year 12. But my dad and I made the trip across for this year's event, and I was super excited because it was my first time attending. It was my first time in Bendigo. And yeah, it was a massive event. Yeah, so we went in on the Friday and the Saturday. We were personally expecting the Friday to be a bit quieter because, you know, it's a weekday. Not as many people as on the weekend. Turns out that's the day where all of the people that really want to get something come in to make sure they get that thing that was on their list, and it was chaotic. It was lovely, but it was chaotic. So we, yeah, kind of came in between open at 9 and usually about 2 in the afternoon each day. And the first day was just chaotic. But it was really great seeing everyone around. You know, we got to admire everyone's knits from afar as they walked past us. We also went to a smaller fibre market that was on just around the corner later in the afternoon, which was really nice. It was a bit more of an intimate setting than Bendigo, if that makes sense, and you could chat more with the stall holders because they weren't overrun with customers. But you know, it's great And then we also went to Bendigo Woolen Mills on the Friday, which was also amazing. That was my first time being to an active woolen mill in person. And I spent a bit of money. And then on the Saturday we went back into the Sheep and Wool show and we did a bit more exploring. I've got some clips of sheep that I will try and insert somewhere here. There were some lambs. It was cool to see all of the different breeds of sheep in the exhibition halls. And the sheepdogs were super cool. I'm really not articulating this very well. The overall resounding conclusion I'm trying to draw here was it was a good experience, but if you don't want to go on a really crowded day, Friday is not the day for you. Either way, I've got a lot of purchases sitting next to me that I would like to share with you guys now. I will start with the non-yarny things because that seems like the easiest place to start. So I got this hair clip, which I will not show you how to put in because my hair's a little bit static today and I would not like it to stand on end. But these super secure, totally would recommend. They sit flat against your head as well, which is great when you're driving. Really like this. And then I also got a heat pack. You know, everyone needs a good heat pack. And this was from Hot Bag. Good heat pack, you know. Sorry about any of the bag noises. I do have a few paper bags here and they're gonna make that noise, so sorry about that. Just move this one over here now. And then I'll go into my fibre purchases because those are slightly smaller than the yarn purchases. But in a really big bag because it's fibre and it's gorgeous. So the Bendigo Woolen Mills actually had all of their fibre on a 50% sale. So of course I had to pick some up. And my light's not helping a lot here, but it's kind of like a natural fleck colour. I think I paid like $2.50 for this, which is ridiculous because it's nearly 200 grams of fibre, which mind blown, you know. I'll keep going with this other stuff. And then I got this lovely robing here. It is from Coloured Sheep, Black and Coloured Sheep Breeders Association, I believe was what their store was under, but the lady there was lovely. All of her fibre and yarn came from her flock, and you get a little description of the sheep that you bought fibre from on your fibre, which I love. This is 100 grams of fluff and I'm looking forward to spinning it up. I'm sure it's like a Corriedale or something. But I also may be very wrong because I'm not very good at this. Either way, it's gorgeous fibre and I love it. And then I've got this little bag of fibre here. This is Carter Fluff. It is, I believe, the leftovers from their other fibre. It is from Wool to Yarn. It was $5 for 50 grams of fluff and I went, that is perfect. So that's this one. And then my last fibre acquisition was this gorgeous robing. This is from the Fibre Shed. And it is Grey Jacob and Sari Silk, 50 grams. It's gorgeous, I love it. And that is my fibre. I'm just going to pause while I rearrange this all a little bit. My hair is doing something really funky today. I apologise. And also apparently the lighting keeps changing every time I turn my head. So sorry about that, guys. So the next purchase I have here is kind of like my big Bendigo Project purchase. I decided that I was going to purchase yarn for the True Stripes sweater jumper. It's one of the patterns in the 52 Weeks of Easy Knits book. And I really like this jumper. I saw Roz of Passion Flower, she had made one and it looks amazing on her. So I decided I needed one, and this was the yarn that we purchased for it, which was slightly birthday money, but it's okay. Let me just grab one of each of these out. Show you. Oh, this is not going well. This could totally be my screenie. Just pause for a second. Either way. So this is my colour palette. Poorly shown, mind you. But I kind of started with these two here and went on to find these other ones. I'll just show you all of the yarns. A bit more detail because I'm feeling like I'm not doing a great job here. So these two are from Hodgepodge Skeins. Again, the colour's way more accurate back near my face. But these are in the colourway Tealrific. And on their 8-ply, 70% merino wool, 10% silk and 20% nylon. It's a non-superwash base, and this is kind of where my starting point was, so I purchased non-superwash for the rest of my yarn. And then my second colour is also from Hodgepodge Skeins. It was on the same base, but in the colourway Olive. Again, way more accurate colour back here. That's that one. And then the next colour that we found was this one. Here, this is by, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to say that. Tand Worn Kurt. Tandy. Everyone knows this brand, come on. It's like a flock to wool sort of brand. I'm really sorry. There was a lot of panic in my purchase, and a lot of information that I heard about this yarn has gone in one ear and out the other ear. But either way. So this is their 8-ply base. And their description on the back is a heritage yarn helping conserve Australia's first breed of sheep and its place of origin. So I've got about, oh, how much? 170 grams-ish here. And again, colour's more accurate back here than up here. But that's that one. And then I have this gorgeous skein here from Fluff and Nonsense. It's on her 8-ply base that she gets from Maggiore Plains, which is 100% non-superwash merino. This is in the colourway Charcoal, which is again more accurate back near my face than up near the camera. It's a gorgeous yarn. then my last colour I got from Maggiore Plains. Oh geez, it's really blowing out. It's kind of like a chamomile colour. And it is colourway Mustard Yellow or 8015. And it's again on their 8-ply base. So that was my really big purchase. It's going to be the True Stripes jumper. I've already said that. I'm just going to keep rambling while I pop this in the bag and grab my last bag, which has my last purchases, which isn't a small amount, but it's okay. It was a treat yourself weekend. Either way, last bag is a Bendigo Woolen Mills bag, and it's got all of my other purchases. So I will start with this because it's at the top. So I got these two from Fluff and Nonsense again. Both of these are her Platinum BFL sock base, which is 75% BFL superwash and 25% nylon. This is her mini set. Home is behind, and this is her colourway Heartfelt. Again, more accurate back here on this one. But these are going to be a Litmus cowl, and I'm really looking forward to casting that one on once I've finished at least one of my pairs of socks. Oh jeez, I don't even know where to start in this bag. We'll do these. So this was my only purchase from the smaller craft market, fibre market that was just around the corner from the Sheep and Wool show. I have this journal cover that has been eco-printed, and I believe her brand is Handmade by Chiron. Yeah, so it's been eco-dyed. I really love that, and you can switch out the notebook, and that's really great for me because I've been doing a lot of kind of journaling at the moment, like, so notebook cover is helpful. And then I also got some wooden buttons from her as well, just because I thought they were really pretty. Alright, and then I have a skein from the Knitting Man Recommends. I love this colourway. It is called Moody Devil No. 2. It is on her Fat Tootsie base, which is her 8-ply DK sock base, which is an 80% merino, 20% nylon. It's gorgeous and speckled. I love, love, love my speckled colourways, so I will always pick up that. Again, the colours are blowing out near the camera and are way more accurate back here, but this is gorgeous, and it's going to be a pair of DK weight socks. Next up I have a skein from White Rabbit Handmade. This is on, I believe it's a twist base. It's 100% merino, and one strand is superwash and 2 strands are non-superwash, so it's a 3-ply construction. But it's really cool because the superwash yarn takes the dye more strongly than the non-superwash yarn. This is in the colourway Licorice, and it's going to be a beanie. Again, colour more accurate back here, but I really love it. I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay, we're back. The next skein I have to show you is from Colleen's Crafts. This is on her 80% wool, 20% nylon, her sock yarn, 4-ply base. I just really love the colours. These are going to be socks. This skein is going to be socks. Oh, I really cannot articulate words well today, and I'm very sorry guys, but we're going to get through this. And so my next purchase is from Dyed by Hand Yarns. There's just a hair of mine there. I will remove that. But this colour is absolutely gorgeous. It is the Big Bazookas colorway on her tough stocking base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's gorgeous. And then I also got mini skein on pitch black colorway. There's just her details. And I swear this is the blackest black I have ever seen. It's gorgeous. And this will be a pair of socks. Alright, and then I have this little skein here. This is again from the Fibre Shed. It is, oh, they have a base name for this. Either way, it's super cool. It's one of those colour shifting colourways. They mill all of their yarn, well, most of their yarn that they sell, they mill. It is the Outback Twilight colourway. Outback Twilight colourway. And it's just gorgeous. It's going to be some sort of headscarfy thing. I've got an idea in mind, and I'm going to try and modify the Sophie scarf to work to that idea. Alright, and I think I'm nearly through all the yarny bits here. I've just got a few odds and ends that I got from Bendigo Woolen Mills. So I've just got some 8-ply superfine merino. I figured this would be a good contrast color for a project. They had a bunch of yarn in kind of second spins. Either way, I picked this one up, and I also picked up these two little ends of their sock yarn, and it was all yarn by weight, so you paid, I think I paid like $2 for both of these or something ridiculously cheap, and they'll just go into Scrappy Socks at some point. I then also bought a lot of needles from Bendigo Woolen Mills because I needed to stock up, and their needles are pretty cheap, I reckon, for the quality. I've tried them out now, pretty good. Still overall prefer my Giogio needles, but for the price I'm pretty happy with these. Okay, and then I will just go on to my notions and project bags. So I picked up this project bag from Mavis Handmade. It's gorgeous. There are little cats with strawberries and apples on here, and I love that. And then I've just popped all of my notions inside here. Alright, so I picked up some little sheep stitch markers from, again, Mavis Handmade. There is a fourth one, I've just put it on a necklace instead. These are gorgeous and adorable. We love it. And then I've got another few things from White Rabbit Handmade. So I got this little duck stitch marker, which is again adorable. I love it. And then I also got this knitting porcelain brooch. Yep, porcelain brooch. Oh, come on, focus. Either way, it's gorgeous. And then I got these needle stoppers. They're just butterflies from Tea Time Yarn Retreats. And my last two purchases were from Woolen Wire. Sorry, I'm just trying to get them so you can see them. And they're these adorable little stitch markers again. And these two handmade, like polymer clay, amazing skill, love them. Either way, so that was my ridiculous amount of purchases from the weekend. I will try and articulate a bit better. It was a wonderful experience. I loved seeing people that I knew, getting to say hi to some stall holders I know. It was great. I had some yarn on sale via Stitchy Witch's Wool Co, which was, you know, just mind-blowing that I had yarn on sale at Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show. Never would have thought it would happen. It was a great weekend. We had a little Airbnb that we stayed in, a little farm stay. It was gorgeous. I think I have some clips from there as well, which I might insert at the end. Either way, it was a great experience. Totally would recommend it to anyone who's thinking about it. Maybe not the Friday if you don't want the crowds, but your choice. Yeah. Okay, I'll just do a little wrap up now. So thank you for watching if you've gotten this far and dealt with all of my rambling. I'm going to try and do these a little bit more regularly now that I've got a bit more time that I've finished school. Hopefully, you know, every 2 weeks-ish. We'll see what happens. If you want to keep more up to date, my Instagram page is where I'm most active. Again, links to my social media can be found in the description box below. Links to any makers that I've talked about can be found below. Any projects, details are all down below. Thank you for sitting through all this rambling. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and following. I really hate saying that, but it pushes my video out to more people if you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment, let me know what you're working on. If you've just been to Bendigo, I'd love to hear about it. Yeah, thank you for watching.